Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we're going to talk about the abysmal, disgusting, horrendous performance by Arsenal in the 2-0 loss against Tottenham in the North London derby. Those 2,000 fans in the stadium will be having the love of their life, and those Arsenal correspondents will be literally shaking their head in disgust. Arsenal have been done by Jose Mourinho, and Mourinho has played his ball, and he has literally won this game from two amazing goals. But if you play good doesn't mean you win games, and Arteta has learnt a big lesson through this game. But before we get into the video, we get right into the delve into the deep parts. Make sure you guys click the subscribe button for more daily videos. Hit the notification bell if you want to receive notifications from me as soon as I upload, and hit the like button if you like the video, and make sure you guys share this to your Arsenal friends and family. Now let's get right into the video. So a poor performance by Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. For me, Mikel Arteta couldn't have done anything better with this team, but nothing's not clicking at the moment. When you look at Tottenham, they are clicked as a team, but when you look at Arsenal, they look disjointed. They don't look like a team. They are doing things in the wrong scenarios. They are trying to bring balls in, but they're not in the box. They're not literally targeting a player. But for me, this is a horrendous performance. This is a sums up our season. This is no turning point. This has to be a bounce back scenario for Arteta and Arsenal players. For me, it was horrendous, and we'll get right into the match ratings. I feel as though there's going to be a lot of players that's going to get criticised here. I'm sorry if you guys get offended if your favourite player gets criticised, but I feel as though all Arsenal players have been really poor in my opinion. But other than that, let's get right into the match ratings. So we will start off with Bernd Leno in goal. For me, the one thing that he succeeded in isn't wearing the away kit as the goalkeeper kit. But for me, he had nothing else to do really much. But obviously, when you lose a game, you conceded to, you still performed bad. That first goal, he really didn't have anything to do. That was a perfect shot by Heung-min. And the other goal, he really didn't do anything. But for me, the match rating for Bernd Leno is a solid 4. Next up is Hector Bellerin, and for me, this player has to be sold in the January transfer window or the summer transfer window. For me, Bellerin, he's a good attacker with the ball. He knows how to put balls in the box, but put it in the box with some venom. Put it into a player, not into some random area that no one has a chance of getting into, even though there was a chance where, like I said, should have finished it in. But for me, he was at fault for most of the things. He was out of position. Son Heung-min had his best time of his life with literally unvisible right back. But for me, his performance was shocking. I think Arteta has bias towards him since he lived with the guy. He had him in his house. But for me, Arteta and for Bellerin, he deserves at least a 2, in my opinion. But for me, Bellerin was poor, and we need a new right back. Next up is Rob Holding, and for me, he done one good tackle when Bergwijn had a chance at goal, and he done that sliding tackle. But other than that, he was poor. He really didn't have much to do, in my opinion, because Tottenham were actually defending most of the time. But for me, there was 2 goals went in. You meant to go for the man. You were blocking off Son, but you could have at least put a foot in. But for me, he gets roughly between 3 or 4, but I'm going to go with 3 as we did concede 2 goals. Next up, we have Gabriel Magalhaes, and for me, Gabriel tried to do so much for the team. He really did work hard for the team, and for me, I'm not being biased here, he's been one of our top defenders, and he's been getting those headers, he's been doing those crucial defending, the blocking, and for me, he's the best player in that, better player in that team, even though he conceded 2 goals. But for me, I feel as though he deserves at least a 5. I feel he was the best person in the whole defence, so I'll give him a 5 for his performance. Next up, we have Kieran Tierney, and for me, Tierney deserves a good performance in some aspects. With his crossing, he was good. However, really and truly, when you look at the game, he really tried so hard for the team. He did give his all, and I feel as though he does deserve a similar score to Gabriel, as he did work hard for the team. You saw Gabriel, who was pushing up forward, he's trying to do something. You see Kieran Tierney, he's a good player, and for me, I'll also give him a 5. So that's my score for Kieran Tierney. Next up, we have Thomas Partey, and for me, Thomas Partey, man, He should have not played at all. We all wanted him to play, but we all can see that he actually was really injured. You saw that second goal. He got off the pitch. For me, that's unacceptable in my opinion. But he should fall down or something, or literally try and do something to make the referee be aware. And I feel as though it was a game too soon for him, in my opinion. He should have not got started in the starting lineup. But we all wanted him, and we had him, and he gave us 45 minutes, but we conceded 2 goals in the first half. For me, he deserves a 3. So that's my rating for Thomas Partey. Next up, we have Granit Xhaka. And for me, Granit Xhaka is abysmal. His performance is horrendous. The thing is, there was one point that was spotted really well by the Sky Sports commentators, was that there was one crucial time when it was around the 60th, 70th minute where where Granit Xhaka makes a tackle and gets a yellow card. For me, that itself deserves a 2. Even one with Bellerin, both of them were horrendous in my opinion. What did Xhaka do? He was putting passes left to the back to Partey. He thought he was the focal point. In my opinion, Partey's a way better player than Xhaka. In my opinion, Xhaka, you're trash, mate. And I don't hate you or anything, but you're just poor. And for me, he looks like he's trying to fool the fans by trying to put his work in, but he isn't good for the bill. So for me, he gets a 2. That's my player rating for Xhaka. Next up, we have Alexander Lacazette. And for me, I feel kind of sorry for him because he was getting bullied by Sissoko and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. In my opinion, he was getting bullied. Them two are onto him like a rash. And for me, Lacazette literally can't do this, in my opinion. But I feel as though he can have some aspects. I think we should give him the striker role back, I think. But for me, his performance, he did work hard for the team, to be honest. But for me, he didn't get that all-important header. There was at a point he could have slid it in for a tackle, but for a sliding goal when the free ball from Bellerin. So he gets a 3 for me. That's my rating for for Lacazette. Next up, we got Bukayo Saka, and I think he was the best player alongside Tierney and Gabriel. For me, he was the best player on the pitch for Arsenal, and I will give him a 6 for that performance. He was working hard for the team. He even got shifted to the right-back position because Bellerin was that poor. He was more threatening on the right-back position with the left foot. For me, that right-back position should be given to Maitland-Niles now. Cedric, I think he's a Europa League player. Bellerin, please get out of the squad. When that offer came for £35 million, that should have been taken. But Bukayo Saka, he did work hard for the team. He did really do that as much for the team. He really knew what North London derby meant. So I would stick with my decision with the 6. Next up, we have Willian, and for me, he doesn't fit the bill, in my opinion. I think Arteta has confused these players, because I saw when Willian was taking those free kicks, he was saying different sorts of colours. He was saying yellow, he was saying blue when he was about to take a free kick. I don't know what that meant. I think he was trying to be tactically, but I think Arteta doesn't get is that this is not Man City where all the players are elite. This is Arsenal where the players aren't going to come with a lot of money. And I feel as though Willian just doesn't fit the bill, in my opinion. But he didn't even get a goal against Tottenham. He's literally out of his depth. I don't know why you're spending 220k per week on his wages. For me, it wasn't creative at all. So for me, he deserves a 3 as well. He wasn't the poorest performer, but he deserves a 3. Next up, we got Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And to be honest, the best Pierre in that match was Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Aubameyang, I think it's time to put him into the Europa League squad. At least one game. Let him really get some goals back into this game. I really do think that Aubameyang has lost it, literally. He had that one all-important chance, his cliche, where he cuts in and takes a shot with his right foot, like the way Heung-min Son shot the goal. He took it to his left, and you can see there's no confidence in the man. I feel as though he's been performing very bad. He's in bad form. He was in my fantasy Premier League, but now I've got rid of him. Aubameyang, I don't know what's going on, Reggie. Even in the interview I saw with Arsenal, he doesn't look happy at all. There's something wrong with his performances, and hopefully Aubameyang can improve somehow, but I don't want him to be the next Mesut Ozil with another high wage. So for me, he deserves a 2 as well. And finally, Mikel Arteta, the manager. For me, I don't know what he's doing. He's probably thinking we played that good football and we still didn't get a win out the game. That's the thing with Mourinho. He's done it in the past. He's doing it right now. Arteta is inexperienced, and I feel as though he thinks he's got the same squad as Pep at the moment. For me, Arteta has to make all these players that played in this game played the Europa League matches, in my opinion, put the Europa League squad into the into the Premier League squad. I don't think the players should start calling him boss. They don't show him the respect. I don't think they should start calling him Mikel anymore. It's starting to annoy me. Call him boss. And for me, Mikel Arteta needs to up his games. But for this performance, he gets a 3. And hopefully you guys remain blessed and peace.